Meanwhile, speaking of basketball, elsewhere, another day, because apparently Caitlin Clark is going to play every other day, which gets into what we're going to talk about here. The Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark playing at Seattle right now on a West Coast road trip. They got Seattle, they have Los Angeles, Las Vegas, all coming up in the next few days. Right now, Seattle's leading Indiana 25-16, end of the first quarter. So far, Caitlin Clark is scoreless. He's played 9 minutes, 0 for 4 from the floor, 0 for 3 from three-point range, -5 on the night. It has not been a great start. She's not been able to hit anything. Now, look, I told you how fine everything is, because now you've seen very quickly, boom, WNBA has become part of the sports landscape just like everything else, right? So all that stuff is gone. But let me just say this for Caitlin Clark, because she's fine. Everything's going to be fine. If she has a bad couple of games here and there, I'm going to understand, because they gave the Indiana Fever 7 games in the first 11 days of the season. She's going to play a game on the 14th, 16th, 18th, 20th, which she's done. Today, the 22nd. Then she's got Friday against Los Angeles, and then Saturday, back-to-back, they're playing Vegas. Oh, by the way, Vegas, the best team in the league. So you're talking about 7 games in the first 11 days of the season. Like, there's nobody that's going to be able to play well if you put a schedule like that out there. Every other day, and then 2 nights you're going to play back-to-back. I'm telling you, that's going to hasten the rut that she's going to inevitably fall in, because she's played a lot of basketball, right? And I get that players play AAU all the time, getting into college. I understand, but this is where she has gone from a full entire college basketball senior year, where they made it all the way to the championship game, and 8 hours later, she gets drafted number 1 overall by the Fever, and a day and a half after that, she's playing her first game. This is the most basketball. We talk about Kyrie and playing a lot of basketball, hitting the wall. Caitlin Clark's going to hit the wall at some point pretty soon in this season. I would say there's going to be a lot of, what's wrong with Caitlin Clark? Just because she's not going to be performing, because this is a ton of basketball. It's a lot. And you can get past the initial excitement of the newness of the WNBA and that little bit of energy and that burst, and that's great. She's shown that her game translates, everything is fine. But when it happens, because it's going to happen, she's going to have bad games, she's going to stack bad games. It's just that there's too much basketball that she's had to play. Too much high-profile basketball where there's no rest. It's not like, well, players play overseas. Yeah, but the overall commitment level of what they need to be doing outside of the game, they're kind of out of the spotlight. It's kind of okay. So, but Caitlin Clark has been a front-page story, pulled in a lot of different directions for a long time. Yeah, she's going to hit the wall. It's going to happen. She's going to struggle. She'll bounce back eventually. But boy, I'll tell you, these 7 games in 11 days aren't helping matters at all.
Yeah, it's the curiosity, though, right, is that, the way this schedule is, it's a breakneck pace. I mean, WNBA season, it's a fast season, right, to roll into as the summer months go on. So, the curiosity becomes, and I haven't looked further down the schedule, how many breaks there are, where you get multiple days off. I mean, they get help now that they're getting chartered. So, I mean, that helps a little bit. Cuts down on that airport lag time and all that fun stuff. But legitimately, it is something to monitor. And not the best of things for the WNBA in terms of the early schedule, which we talked about just as a whole, not just the teams, but this type of pace of, as you have the struggles where you're trying to capture eyeballs and get in and sell. And for those that are on board, it's not going to matter, right? Folks bought their tickets, they've bought their advance, and we've watched it in the secondary market. It's the folks that are on the fence that if you're tuning into the product right now and you're seeing a bit of unevenness between the ankle injury and the schedule perhaps having its weight, not to mention the fact that, what's that key thing you keep saying about the Fever?
It's only one thing. Remember, it's only one thing about the Fever. It's only one thing. It's only one thing. They stink. That's the only thing.
I thought you were going to say cowbell.
That's been nuts.
And bit by bit, I mean, they've gotten better, and they've had some stretches where it looks like they're starting to communicate better on the court, recognize things a bit better. But again, if you tune in for some clips of these, right? She's 11 minutes, 1 of 6 right now. Finally hit a shot. It's it's a tough watch for you, right? If you're expecting her to come in and dominate. Now, if you're one of those people that just wants to hate watch, good luck to you. But, for the WNBA as a whole, when you're trying to sell, you can say, well, she had 19 points, but people are going to dig a little deeper in the box score.
Yeah,
right? And things of that nature.
And it's going to be fun. Look, the haters are going to come out. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. It's just too much basketball. And I don't mean like saying, oh, here's a problem. No, it's just the one time only when you're going to go from, hey, I've played all this basketball, there's no break, and now I'm going right into a high-profile season without any break. And then, oh, by the way, look, got the Olympics coming up later on. She's going to wind up playing the Olympics. I mean, you're going to have a lot of stuff, and it's just a lot of basketball. So anything you see, because it's going to come, and there's going to be a rough patch, you're going to see, oh, she's overrated, and maybe she's not the best rookie. All these crazy-ass things, which, oh, by the way, nobody gets any more attention in the league than defensively than Caitlin Clark. So just understand that as a rookie. Nobody gets that. Angel Reese doesn't get it. Cameron Brink doesn't get it. Nobody gets it.
No. Much different players, though.
Right, but
much different players.
But nobody,
in terms of how their
nobody is having their entire
are nowhere close to what hers is.
Right, but nobody's having an entire defensive scheme before the game of this is what we do to stop Caitlin. Like no, you're not doing. You're not even. I know you're doing that for Breanna Stewart. Like this is what we are doing. Our entire defensive meeting is going to be about stopping Caitlin Clark. Like I mean, that's a huge deal that she's going to deal with as well. And all this is part of it, right? All this is part of it. But it's just that's going to happen, and she's going to hit the wall a bit, and that's all it's going to be. And when she gets used to the schedule, hits her second win, starts hitting more shots, it's going to be back to where it is, and Caitlin Clark is going to be the show like it was.
Here's what you have right now, Jason.
And it's tougher right now.
Yeah, July 17th, their final game ahead of a 1-month break. July 17th at Dallas. They come back on the 16th against Phoenix. So you've got the Olympic break or perhaps the ability to just go sleep in a hyperbaric chamber for a month.
Or maybe you do both. Maybe you play in the Olympics and sleep in the hyperbaric chamber.
Well, I mean, she's got enough endorsements and sponsorships and all of those things to come together to where, you just have a little extra cargo on the jet. We got room down there.
Or she watches Mets games to fall asleep.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Clark. Having trouble sleeping? Need your body to recover? Well, put on these TB12 pajamas and then either flip on the Mets game or get into cryo sleep therapy. Hey, here's what it is right here. Let me show you how easy it is to just get inside this hyperbaric chamber, close your eyes, and breathe.
They'll hit 3 home runs 2 days in a row and still lose.
78% historically. Did you see that stat, Smith? Historically, yes, you hit 3 home runs in a game, you win almost 4 out of 5, just like you're a damn dentist making a recommendation.
Yeah, no. You're like someone, you're like a lifeguard at the beach telling me, the ocean's pretty deep. I know how deep the ocean is. I know the Mets stink. I know we stink and we should be selling our players right now. You don't have to worm them into every conversation. It's a Caitlin Clark conversation.
Yeah, but that was good specificity.
We don't need that here.
No, that was good work by Frostberg to bring in something that would put you to sleep. He could have gone for the easier joke of the White Sox.
We can't because nobody cares about the White Sox.
Nobody cares about the Mets either.
Sure,
but
you
keep jamming them down our throats.
No, of course they do because they spend all kinds of money and they lose. That's all that happens. Stop! It's not about the Knicks either. Frostberg, you
tried to make them happen.
Your team has been home for so long. People forget the colors of the Lakers.
Dude, we've been through this how many times?
What's their jersey?
I've seen enough good basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I need a break.
And when you get Doc Rivers as your head coach, you're not going to see any more.
See, now that's just mean.
Yeah, that was just mean.
That was just mean, man.
You wait for Doc, man.
I was
You're
being
so
nice.
far over the line, you can't even see the line.
The line is way behind me, right? I mean, I went so far over, I don't even see it.
I was being nice. I even said hi to you today.